Hey, I'm your humble host, Phys Ed Music, and this right here is Urban Politics. Want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance after this video, take a little cell phone over to YouTube, like and subscribe, Phys Ed Music, Urban Politics. But without further phizedmusic.com, urban politics. But without further ado, I want to run right into it or jump right into it like a car and drive because there's all types of tasty and delicious politics for us to sink our teeth into. So first things first, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about the presidential election that's coming up, right, in 2024. So the presidential race, 70% of people do not want Joe Biden to run. And why is that going on, you might ask yourself? Well, the only drawback I can really think that Joe Biden has is that he's old. Now, I was telling somebody not too long ago that shouldn't be a problem for any of us around here because all you and I have ever voted for was an old white man, except for the one brother, Barack Obama. But that was it. You know what I'm saying? If you've been voting in this country, you voted for an old white man. So why is Joe being an old white man a problem? Because he's a really old white man. I'm joking. I kid the president. Look, he is older, but so what? Like I said, I've talked about it before too. His steps are slow. He's not as articulate as he used to be, and he used to be called the gaff master. He still is the gaff master. But oh well, I still think he's a good man. And you know what I'm saying? This is his time to shine. And as far as policies and getting things accomplished go, he's been doing a bang up job. Only thing is, he's just an older guy. But I don't think that should stop him. But 70% of Americans do not feel comfortable with Joe Biden as president. You hear the late night people making jokes all the time about him falling up the stairs and, you know, how he'll stumble over words. And I'm not going to lie. A lot of times when I'm watching him do a speech, I'm kind of on the edge of my seat like, Joe, don't mess that word up or don't do that. Because whenever you do little stuff like that, they're like, yep, told you he was too old to be president. And it don't help. But he can't help it. The man is old. You know what I'm saying? He's doing the best he can. But he's actually doing a pretty good job. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you look at policies and things he's getting accomplished. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? So 60% of people don't want Trump to run. Now that's probably for obvious reasons. Even people in that party. There's plenty of Republicans who are like, man, they wish that Trump would really sit this one out. If you're a true conservative, you would probably want Trump to sit this one out, and you're probably looking at someone like DeSantis. Now DeSantis has had an abysmal start to his campaign. Lady was saying he can't get off the runway. So when that campaign gonna start, I think it's ending before it even started. But whatever. You know, he's you know what I'm saying, forging ahead, going faithfully into that good night. We'll see where that leads him. Probably not too far. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait till he just go ahead and make this bid for president, you know, loses and then falls away from the public eye. He'll probably just be a Fox News contributor for the rest of his life, and oh well. But I'm really sick of that guy anyway. Sick of what he's doing to Florida, tearing Florida all up. I'm on TikTok. I see they were showing homes. I think I reported on this last show. They were showing homes. You know, the materials and stuff in the home is getting all mildewy and wet. The homes is all wide open because all the workers just left because of his garbage policies. Talking about that I think that you can like deport, you know what I'm saying, illegals on site or whatever. I guess he thought they was gonna take that for a joke or something. They got up out of there. So I go to another state that ain't gonna persecute me because I'm trying to make a living. So there's that, you know what I'm saying? So just little stuff like that, not to mention all the crap he got going on with Disney, not to mention all the crap that he's trying to do in schools. It's just a ish show over there in Florida, and DeSantis has nobody to blame or thank but himself. That is what it is. But that's Republicans for you, and 60%. Yeah, so with that even said, though, there's still people who would rather have him than Trump. You can understand that, though. Trump, got a laundry list of indictments. Oh my goodness. Last time he was president, it kind of sucked. He didn't do anything. I'm sorry. People talk all this stuff about people just hate Trump, they hate him. I'm like, nah, it ain't even that. Let's get rid of the fact that he's has a lot of ists going on. Racist, misogynist, rapist. Anyway, let's forget about all that. And let's just look at him as a president. What did he do? Nothing. He promised a lot of things. He just did not deliver. He did not give y'all that wall. He didn't do it. All he did was blow a hole in the deficit by giving people as rich as him and richer a tax break. That's all he did. That's all he got accomplished in 4 years. And that's not good at all. That's lame. So I can understand why, 60% of people are like, no, thank you. But it looks like we're poised to do that again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do it again. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be Biden versus Trump. Biden's making a go. I had talked about it on the show. I kind of wanted the likes of a Gavin Newsom or somebody like that to step up, but when I got like a thing across my feed talking about how Gavin Newsom was throwing his support behind Joe Biden, I'm like, of course, because Joe Biden's the incumbent, and there it is. You know, if the incumbent says I'm running again, then everybody else is gonna fall back because it's hard to beat an incumbent anyway. You know what I'm saying? An incumbent looks good staying in there and doing what they do. So we'll see where that goes, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I want to talk about a person I love. Now, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I love Madonna. That's one of my favorite artists. Now, I am a child of the 80s. You know what I'm saying? I was born in 76, so in the 80s was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, when I was getting into music and stuff like that. So I love Michael Jackson and Madonna and all of that little stuff, you know what I'm saying? So this was an interesting story that I came across. Check this out. They talked about how Madonna postpones the tour after intensive care stay. Madonna has postponed her world tour after being taken to a hospital's intensive care unit with a serious bacterial infection. According to her manager, the global pop star's infection was serious and led to a severe day stay in ICU, he added. A full recovery is expected, though. He also said that. That's great. In a statement, Guy Osari, I hope I'm not messing that up, said Madonna's health is improving, but she is still under medical care. Madonna, 64, was expected to launch her 84-date tour next month. That's where I gotta stop. I think that's what really struck me when I saw this. I'm like, 84 dates? 84 dates. 84 dates. The woman is in her 60s. She about to run out here and go to 84 different cities. That's bananas. Let me tell you something. I'm 47, and I don't know if I got it in me to do 84 cities. Hey, let me tell you though, if the money is right, anybody out there, I'm just saying, the money is right, I do 184 cities. But my point being is, I can understand how, you know what I'm saying, people around her got to be concerned that she just takes these undertakings like this. You are in your 60s, ma'am. You are 64 years old. You gonna do an 84-date tour? My Lord. In 2009, she was awarded a Guinness World Record for the highest grossing music tour by a female artist after completing her Sticky and Sweet tour. I didn't know that. American magazine Forbes lists her as the 45th richest self-made woman in the U.S. with an estimated wealth of $580 million and says she has earned an estimated $1.2 billion from tours. Woo! Madonna is a mega artist. She's a mega star. Yes, she is. I love her to pieces. Hold up. She has 6 children. I didn't know that, but I know she did adopt a lot of kids. Hold, let me keep reading before I say. I don't know how many of these are biological or if any of them are biological. She has 6 children. Last week she posted to her 18.9 million Instagram followers to congratulate her 10-year-old daughters for completing elementary school. Madonna Louise Ciccone, I didn't know that. Ciccone. That's her last name. That's her real name. You know what I'm saying? So her real name is Madonna Louise Ciccone. Grew up in the city of Detroit, Michigan in 1978. Wow. She was born 2 years after me. Moved to New York to pursue a career in dance and music. Earlier this year, her older brother Anthony Ciccone, this is sad, died age 66 after struggling with alcoholism and homelessness. Understood that, and I had to put this as a side note, you know what I'm saying, another reason I love Madonna so much is that, look, she understood that Tupac could not betray his people and have a relationship with her. When I found out about that, how he had wrote her and let her know, like, look, I really dig you, and I would really like to date you and kick it with you, but I can't. So many people did so many things to get me here, and it would be a total betrayal of my people. And you know what this white woman said? I understand. Mind blown. That's what she told the brother. She wasn't like, oh no, you should stand up for our love. No, she said, I get it. I get it, and you're right. You're right. And fell back. That woman's something special, you know what I'm saying? And with that, I just say, dang, Madonna, take care of yourself. Now, on a side note, I got to go ahead and bring this up because I follow her on TikTok. A lot of people was trying to, talk stuff about the way that she looks now, saying that she done got too much plastic surgery and she looks a little weird. You know what I'm saying? And people probably say the same thing about Lil' Kim and all that. But these ladies have issues. You know what I'm saying? They've had issues with their looks. Little Kim, she's had issues with being dark-skinned and stuff like that. You can read about her story. That young lady has went through it, but she's getting through it. Madonna, I'm going to tell you something about Madonna. And here's something I love about Madonna. Madonna has always been obsessed with being young. Always. Even when she was young, she was obsessed with being young. That's always been her. So now that she's old, she's still obsessed with being young. So yeah, did she do it overdo it with the plastic surgery? Probably. You know what I'm saying? Probably. Maybe. But you know what? I still love her to pieces and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I still follow on TikTok and I would just say Madonna. 84 days, that's too many. Man, what about 44? What about 40? My lord, lady, you're 64 years old. We gonna have you for any bit of time. You can't be going to 84 cities and you 64 years old. I'm sorry, that's gonna take its toll on you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let me get off of that. But Madonna, love you. Get better. She may already even be better. I think that story's a little old. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about why we can't stop homelessness. This was so interesting when I came across this. They said, these are 4 reasons that we can't stop homelessness. 4 reasons why there's no end in sight to it, right? So they said, number 1, more people than ever are being housed, but an even higher number are falling into homelessness. So that makes a lot of sense. So, you know what I'm saying? And they even talk about this a little bit too as another one of these factors of why we can't end homelessness. But when all that money was coming out during the pandemic, a lot of people had got that money. They were to pay some of these mortgages and higher mortgages. They got into these homes, and now, or even, maybe several months ago even, that money is running out. That money is going. I never understood that anyway, because I was like, people got to know this is short-lived, right? The government's not going to keep giving people this money forever. They should. That's what they should be doing. Don't even get me on that. But anyway, they're not going to do that. And you know what I'm saying? So, and they did it then because we were in a pandemic or whatever, right? So, I don't know why people didn't plan for that, because you had to know that money wasn't coming forever. But some people got that money, they ran out here, they got homes, and they got stuff that they couldn't sustain once that money ran out. So there's that. So that's the reason why you had a whole lot of people. I mean, they talked about how it was just this huge housing market, and my little sister not too long ago was trying to get a home, and excuse me, some people from out of town bumped her out, and they paid like nearly $10,000 or $15,000 over the asking price. Sight unseen. They had not seen the home. They had not toured it. But they're coming from out of town, probably to work at that Intel plant that's going to be here. They got the bread, and they said, we want this house, and they got it from up under her, because they offered an extra $10,000, $15,000. That's deep, right? So that shows you how people are being housed, but not all these people can hold on to these houses. So there's that. Number 2, rents are out of reach for many, and millions of affordable places have disappeared. That is true. You can't barely get here in Columbus, Ohio. You barely can get a room for under $600 a month. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about a room. You might be living in a room with 8 other, you're living in a house with 8 other people in a room. Your room rent would be $800 a month. And you still might have to kick something in on the utilities. I'm joking. You probably could get a room in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not lying. Still these days for maybe $500-$600, but that's still pretty high. You know what I'm saying? Any 1-bedroom apartment you get, or studio or anything like that, depending on where it's at, you could be paying upwards of $1,200. I know in Polaris, I think a studio could cost you $1,200 a month. So you know what I'm saying? There's no cap on rental rates. I've talked about that on the show. That needs to be something that comes up this next election. It won't, but that's a kitchen table issue that definitely needs to be dealt with. Homelessness and rental rates being capped some kind of way. That needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see if anybody brings it up. Zoning laws and local opposition make it hard to build housing for low-income renters. Exactly. You hear it all the time. My man, George Carlin, rest in peace, used to always talk about it. NIMBY, NIMBY, not in my backyard. That's what he said. He said these people talk NIMBY. He said, you ever heard of that? NIMBY, not in my backyard. And that's how people feel. That's how people feel. Oh, we need we need group homes for these troubled youth. Yeah, they need somewhere to be. They need somebody to take care of them. But I don't want it by me. Don't build it in my neighborhood. Don't you build it up the street from me and my kids. What we gonna do about all these battered women? Oh, we got all these battered women. They need somewhere to go. They need counseling. They need help. They sure do. Yeah, but build that across the city. Don't build that over here. Don't you build that nowhere near my house. I care about those battered women. I don't want their center anywhere near my property, bringing down my property value. NIMBY, Not in my backyard. It's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you bear witness to it. Anyway, and last but not least, pandemic aid programs that help keep many people housed are winding down. And I talked about that kind of in the opening there, and that's real too. A lot of those programs are gone now. So people were using that money to, pay these huge mortgages or whatever. They ain't got it no more. The money done ran out and then dried up. So now they got to find a new place to dwell, and that's not a good thing at all, right? The Los Angeles mayor, Karen Bass, this is a quote from her. She said, "We really need to normalize the fact, unfortunately, that we're living in a crisis." She said, set a press conference announcing a renewal of her emergency declaration on homelessness. That's good. So what's going on? Advocacy groups and researchers say a big driving force is the decline of affordable housing, a problem decades in the making, but one that has grown significantly worse in the past few years. And these are just some ways that it's playing out. And that's real too, man. There hasn't been affordable housing for a long time. It's just been getting worse and worse and worse. There's no cap on rental rates. You can charge people whatever they're willing to pay for whatever dwelling that you have. I used to be a landlord back in the day. I know this to be true. Not that I got involved in that, but I understand that, that's a thing. You know what I'm saying? You can charge people whatever they're willing to pay. Now, a lot of people would say, a lot of Republicans would say, well, that's the free market. You should let the free market do its thing. But that ain't cool, because now we get to a point to where we're at now, to where people work 40, 50 plus hours a week and can't afford to live. Can't afford to live. Can't afford to pay rent. Can't afford to pay a mortgage. Right? There's some people who have worked 40, 50 hours all their life and they'll never own a home. That's not cool. That's not good. But that's where we've got to in this country, and that's a problem, right? Let me get ready to get out of her. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I got one more point to get into, and hold your hats, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about crime in the United States of America. All right. The violent crime rate for the entire U.S. is 5.6 per every 1,000 people. Comparatively, the safest cities in the U.S. have total crime rates of 8.6 per 1,000 people and lower. It's difficult to touch on violent crime in the U.S. without discussing gun violence. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have already been more than 22,000 gun violence deaths in the U.S. as of July 2023. That includes 371 mass shootings and 150 children deaths. That is sad. Listen up. And though the latest annual FBI data shows that violent crime has decreased from 2020 to 2021, murders have gone up over the same time frame. Interesting. What are they saying here? Crime is seemingly always increasing, at least according to the headlines. The focus is usually on big cities like Chicago or San Francisco, but some of the most dangerous cities in the U.S. Are actually smaller or suburban cities, at least according to newer per capita data from the Neighborhood Scout. The map, they had this map or whatever. They said the source only considered cities of populations 25,000 or higher. This report is based on reported violent crimes, including armed robbery, murder, rape, and aggravated assault. Oh my goodness. It says some of the top 100 most dangerous cities in the U.S. Check this out. Through the most dangerous cities in the U.S. are spread across multiple states. Alabama is home to 3 of the 10 cities with the highest violent crime rates. Bessemer, Mobile, and Birmingham have the highest crime rates. Isn't that interesting? But if you ask me, when I read that whole thing, and then I read that at the end, that these are the places in the country with the highest crime rates, what it sounds to me is that crime doesn't have anything to do with race or culture or color or background or anything with that. It has to do with economics. Broke people out here robbing because they ain't got nothing. I feel that. I've been there, right? I know what it's like not to have nothing. I ain't go out and rob nobody, but I felt like doing it. And I can understand that there's people in that situation who are doing that. And that's going on what? In these counties where they ain't got no money. These people, I'm sure, are living in pure poverty. Pure poverty is how these people are living. So, of course, they robbing and stealing. So that's where, some of your highest rates is going to be. That is sad, ladies and gentlemen, but until we deal with the real problem around here in this country, we can't get rid of stuff like that. And I tell people all the time, people talk about poverty like it's just some, we know they were living in poverty or poverty this, poverty that. Man, poverty is like a disease. Poverty is a sickness. Poverty is crippling. It had you hunched over in the fetal position. You know, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you ain't never been poor. So a TI is what a TI is. Ask a friend. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. I'm your humble host, Fizz Ed Music. This right here is Urban Politics. I want to thank you all for liking and subscribing as you do. Please, as soon as you have a chance, take yourself on over to YouTube, like and subscribe. Fizz Ed Music, Urban Politics, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, see you around like a donut.